It's noon on Wednesday, February 23rd, and this is news that you can use from your dear friends Ray and Zach at YAA.
All right, Pops, here is the deal.
Yeah.
We are going to start today's segment off with...
Yeah.
Toss on the headphones. Let's do it.
Jeez, I'll probably spill my drink.
Toss them on. Toss them on. They on?
Yeah, no, right. They're not on. Really? You gotta be kidding me.
It's not under there. Okay.
Really? You gotta be kidding me. Yeah, it's National Banana Bread Day.
Yeah.
For God's sake, who came up with that?
Here's the deal.
Yeah.
We're kicking things off today with this. Whoops. That's my calendar. In case anyone was curious, that's my calendar. Bear with me for a second. There you go.
Yeah.
Here's where we're kicking things off today.
Yeah.
West Virginia proposes a new law that would hurt consumers and help car dealers.
Yeah.
You read about this?
It's not a law. It's a proposed law. It hasn't been.
What does it say? It says West Virginia.
Yeah.
And I just read it a little differently, but this reads,
you
know I'm salted, and you just went right. West Virginia proposes law.
Did you not get
that would hurt
bread?
Consumers, help dealers?
Yeah.
I think I explicitly let's
scroll
run it back.
Down just a tad.
Let's run it back.
Just scroll
West
down.
Virginia.
What does this say? The law is anti-consumer. It's not the law yet. It's just another one of your clickbaity titles.
Okay, can we talk about it, please? Can we talk about it?
Sure.
A bipartisan bill. You know what HB stands for?
House Bill?
House Bill 4560 was introduced in West Virginia by 9 lawmakers on February 7th. Justin on our team, who actually lives in West Virginia. He puts his perspective down here, which is really interesting. He saw this, okay?
Yes.
First reported by Clean Technica. And then Justin did a little bit more digging. And what we've got here, Dad,
is
essentially a bill
that
is primarily sponsored and funded by, these 9 lawmakers, by dealer associations, to ban over-the-air updates for West Virginia residents.
It's software updates for cars for West Virginia residents.
Now,
doesn't that seem reasonable to you?
Now, can you please explain to the audience at home? A couple concepts. Service absorption, recalls, and how car dealerships make money, and how that ties in with this type of law.
Oh my God. Which one did you want me to cover first?
I don't know. I mean, go quick.
Service absorption? Well, service absorption is a benchmark that dealers try to hit. 70 to 80% of all their expenses are covered by the profits that are made out of the service department. Really good dealerships will have a service absorption in excess of 100%. So everything that's made in the sale of cars is pure profit.
So the money made in a dealership, it typically can be construed as like, hey, they're selling a car, they're making thousands on the car. In the market the past year, a little bit. But the primary moneymaker, the reason you never see a new car dealership without a service drive is because the primary moneymaker is the service department.
It can be, yes.
Now, service absorption, like you just said.
Yes.
A great dealership might even have 100% service absorption.
Could be 105, 110.
Exactly. It pays for every other aspect of the
Absolutely business. Covers every expense in the dealership.
Now, when a vehicle has a recall, service department loves that. Dealership principal loves that.
Yeah, because the factory's good pay. Okay. They're good pay. They're never like 30, 60, 90
You mean when
days
Stellantis makes, I don't know, like $15 billion, their checks clear when there's a recall?
Yeah, they pay good.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, they're very rarely 30, 60, 90 days late on
their exactly. They pay their dealer body.
Yeah.
So recalls are a boon to dealerships.
Yes.
Now, we've seen more recently automakers moving towards, I don't know, adding software upgrades to their vehicles. If there's more software configurations, there's pros and cons to that. But one of the biggest pros would be, you read a headline, Tesla has 500,000 vehicles with a recall. You know what? You don't need to worry about them going back to the dealership because it's an over-the-air update that rectifies the issue.
Yeah, hopefully, yes.
Hopefully, yes. What we're seeing here with this proposed bill, and I encourage every single person on this stream, or you're watching afterwards, or you're on the podcast later on today, read this. Justin did a great job and he did some investigative journalism to follow the money.
Yeah, well, sure.
You don't have to look too terribly far to see that William Paul.
Yeah. William Paul? West Virginia. Yeah. Of
Okay, maybe you got to look a little bit further. But he owns dealerships.
Of course. Let me help you with that. I mean, I wouldn't know. But I mean, this whole thing is it might be bipartisan, sponsored by 9 members of the legislature in West Virginia, but really it's bought and paid for by the Dealers Association. My question would be, if they ban over-the-air updates for automobiles, are over-the-air updates for your cell phones going to be next in West Virginia? Because last time I checked, every time there's an update for my cell phone, it's done over the air. So what's the difference between getting an over-the-air update for your cell phone in West Virginia than getting an over-the-air update for your car in West Virginia, other than, well, the dealers want to stick it to you, and it's the most anti-consumer proposed law in the 50 states at the moment. I mean, the only thing that would make more sense to me is if they said that it had to be a coal-fired plant that handled the over-the-air update in West Virginia.
And this is why. So to be clear, actually, hi everyone out there. You want to know what I did this morning? Justin made me aware of that yesterday. He wrote it. He sent the draft to me at like 3 a.m. this morning.
Yeah, and you read it at 3 a.m?
And I woke up at 5. Okay. I read it, and then I started reaching out left and right to every single press contact in West Virginia.
Yeah,
I contacted about 3 people.
Yeah, because there's not a whole
lot. I wasn't.
Yeah.
Contacted about 3 people.
Yeah.
That's it. I'm hopeful that we can get some momentum around this, because this one is pretty egregious. I mean, this is lunacy. The idea that you have to go back to a dealership and you can't get over-the-air updates. You can't get software updates in your own garage. Like, we are just protecting the antiquated practices.
Let me help you with another. How many cars today come equipped with Sirius XM radio?
3 billion.
3 million.
Yeah, all of them.
Okay. And how is that activated? I'll help you with that. It's an over-the-air update.
It's
inside the car.
Jeez, man.
It's inside. So in West Virginia, would it be like, if this law passes, would it be illegal to activate your Sirius XM radio through an over-the-air portal? Just seems kind of silly to me. Seems kind of anti-consumer to me. Seems like,
let's read it really quick.
Either the other 49 states have no idea how to protect their the consumers in their states, or this is a state that totally disregards what's best for the people that happen to, call West Virginia home.
Let's read this really quick.
Yeah.
So the language concerning over-the-air updates is in the, quote, prohibited practices section, specifically that thing.
Yeah.
What's that called, Pops? Is that called the double S?
I'm not sure.
The elusive double S?
It could be. I don't know.
How do you think you pronounce it? 17A, 6A.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
A manufacturer or distributor may not do any of the following, except for experimental low volume, not for retail sale vehicles.
What's that? Like a Tonka truck? I mean, what is that?
Cause warranty and recall repair work to be performed by any entity other than a new motor vehicle dealer, including post-sales software and hardware upgrades or changes to vehicle function and features. This is literally saying that you have to go back to a dealership for recall work, repair work, warranty work.
What would happen? What would happen if you drove from West Virginia to Western Maryland or Western Pennsylvania or Ohio? What would happen? Could you do the over-the-air update there?
This is truly, again, the reason we're kicking off today is because part of YAA, the primary reason why it exists, consumer advocacy.
Yes.
No one's talking about this yet. This reminds me of the Carvana, Carvana said they didn't influence it, but the Florida title law that's proposed right now that we need to keep track of. Reminds me of that, where essentially they're saying you no longer have to actually give people titles to vehicles.
You just have to try.
You should.
Yeah, as long as you show that you tried.
You should try. Participation award.
Yeah, we thought about it. We thought about filing the forms.
Yeah, and we understand. Lobbying goes a really long way. But we're here to at least make everyone aware of the lobbying that's going on.
If you live in West Virginia and you're a consumer, which would be, everybody in West Virginia, then you need to be contacting your state legislators And you need to be expressing your desire that this does not become a law in that state. You need to demand better of your state legislators, and we need to figure out a way in this country that special interest groups don't end up ruling everything that happens, as opposed to, I don't know, the people the people of the state that you're elected to represent. They're representing car dealers at this point. That's it.
All right, so let's switch gears a little bit. We've talked.
Bless you. You know, your upper respiratory ailment's much better.
Also, yes, we are in Judge Judy's courtroom today because
yeah.
we are taking this stuff to court. All right, so one other thing that's related to kind of, honestly, you've got to be kidding me. We've got on one end of the spectrum preserving car dealerships as these fixtures in our lives. On the other end of the spectrum, Pops, we have what I think is very material and big news, and I know you feel differently.
No,
this was on the homepage of Automotive News this morning. Hyundai Genesis warned dealers on price markups, quote, way above
sticker price.
How was that?
Way above
sticker price. Automakers tell dealers that their brand reputations get hurt when, quote, advertising one price online and then marking up that price when the customer comes in to the dealer.
So what they're really complaining about is that they want a little more truth in advertising.
This is similar to the Ford and GM memos that we had about a month ago.
But they're not saying that they're not free to sell at whatever markups they want, okay? Because it's their vehicle to sell once it's been wholesaled to the dealer.
Of course.
What they are saying is, well, if you are going to charge over, we would prefer that you be upfront and honest about that in your advertising, as opposed to, well, what is essentially bait and switch. We're going to advertise a lower price, and then we're going to hit you with all these fees and additional dealer markups once you actually set foot in the dealership.
Let's read some of the language here from the article. I think it's important.
Okay.
This is a quote from the letter. So the Hyundai letter was signed by the senior vice president of national sales at Hyundai, and the Genesis letter by the COO of Genesis North America. We are writing now because with great regularity, our customers around the country are voicing displeasure, with certain pricing practices, which, if left unchecked, will have a negative impact on the health of our brand. The automakers, cited affixing side stickers with price markups to our vehicles and the practices of advertising one price online but raising it later. Kia is also mentioned in here, and I want to take a second to show you, Pops. This is the power of community and the power of social media. I posted, there you go. Would you pay $100,000 for a Kia that had a huge markup on it? And look at that. That's got 400,000 views.
Okay.
400,000 views. This is the power that we have to have a bit of a megaphone to say, you want to jack up prices on us? Great. We're going to at least put a little bit of pressure. The pressure that we are putting on then comes from the OEMs. To your point, it says right at the top of this article, let's be very clear. But they acknowledge that retailers can set their own prices. So they can,
and they do.
And they do.
What they're really saying, what Hyundai, Genesis, Kia are really saying is, we get that you have the ability to set the price in your market based on what your market's willing to pay for the car. What they're really asking you to do as a dealer is to not bait and switch when it comes to your advertising.
Well, and they also explicitly mentioned don't put dealer addendum stickers. They don't want their dealers selling above MSRP.
Yes, they do.
No, it says it right here. All of these practices, let me pull it back up on the screen. It says it right here. All these practices result in the sale of vehicles for above MSRP prices, in some cases way above MSRP prices, damaging our brand's long-term ability to capture new customers and retain loyal ones. They don't want them they don't want them baiting and switching. They also don't want them selling above MSRP.
They don't care if they sell.
This comes a week after the Edmunds.
Define way above. That is so innocuous. Way above. We don't want you selling way above. Is way above $1 above? Is way above $10,000 above?
What is innocuous?
Is way above when there's a Kia for $100,000?
You said innocuous. It's innocuous.
Innocuous.
You said innocuous. Like an Oculus, like the virtual reality.
Yeah, I'll give you a virtual.
We got to get you one of these.
Real reality.
We got to get you one of these.
No, we don't. I don't.
Come on, look at that.
I don't need virtual reality. Reality's bad enough.
Imagine putting that on your face.
And then what?
I don't know. Do it. You're in the metaverse, man. We're metamates at that point.
We are not metamates. I want nothing to do with that Zuckerberg child.
Okay, so Dad, hear me out.
Yeah.
The reason I think this is happening now is because of that Edmunds report last week.
What,
that
that
said
82% of people
who
paid
was
over
second on the
MSRP?
list? Which OEM was second on the list? Kia.
Okay, but it doesn't matter. The 82% of the buying public has spoken and said, we're okay paying over MSRP for a vehicle. They've said it. They've spoken with their wallet. What more proof do you need?
But you're finally getting pressure from the OEM.
It's not pressure, it's PR nonsense.
Okay, it literally says right here.
It literally says we're going to look at what things we might be able to do.
Stop. I'm going to read a quote.
Okay.
You are, as an independent business, of course, free to adopt any policies, including pricing policies that are consistent with the law and your contractual obligations, said the letters. But we cannot stand idly by, watching the actions of the aforementioned dealers undo all of the efforts we collectively have put into making these brands what they are today. After consultation with the brand's national dealer councils, the letters said, quote,
we will
explore all options in conjunction with your representatives that may result in the adoption of measures aimed at curbing the behavior of the aforementioned dealers. I'm not expecting a snap of our fingers and dealers can't, there's no law that's going to be put into place that says dealers can't sell cars at a certain price. It's not. But we've now have memos from GM, Ford, Hyundai, Kia, and Genesis saying, stop doing this.
Please don't do it.
They're threatening allocations.
It's an empty threat.
Why are you not pleased with progress?
It's an empty threat. It's just PR nonsense from the manufacturers to make it seem like they care about their customers. They don't. The only customers they care about are the customers that buy the cars from them, which is the dealer body.
We got a couple comments here from Igor. Another joke memo for dealers to frame and hang on the walls of their bathrooms at the dealership to laugh at every time the dealer goes to use the bathroom.
Yes.
My friend who is a dealer at Rockville, Maryland, Chevy store has a GM memo hang up in his bathroom to laugh at every time he uses the bathroom. Yeah. Hey, you guys, Igor used to work in the industry. My dad used to work in the industry. I get it. I get where you guys are coming from. The reality is progress takes time. Change takes time. These are great things that are happening. And you guys are determined to perpetuate these practices. It's progress.
It's not progress. It's nonsense. Okay, there's a difference between progress and nonsense. Okay, progress is when something actually happens. Nonsense is when manufacturers put out memos suggesting that, well, we're going to look at everything that we might possibly be able to do, which just happens to be nothing.
No, they can do plenty.
Oh, God.
I'm not just trying to irritate you. I'm just saying.
The only customers that Hyundai and Kia
You're so wrong. You are
Genesis
so wrong.
care about.
Do you want me to explain to you why you're wrong?
They only have one customer.
You're very wrong. No, you are so wrong.
Okay.
It's called a B2B2C business. You know what I'm saying?
Business to business to customers.
Right?
Yeah. Okay. Got it.
Why is Tesla, why is everyone saying, why is Mary Barra going out there and saying, Ann P's on your side? Okay, I'm going to make a case. We're in Judge Judy's court today.
Yeah.
I would like some comments here if my case is holding water. Yeah. Why is Mary Barra coming out and Jim Farley coming out and all the automakers coming out and saying, value us like Tesla, think of us like Tesla? Look at give me a second.
Because their compensation's tied to that.
Give me a second. Judge Judy is going to determine when you can talk.
Jeez.
And I am also Judge Judy.
You talk about
naivete. It's not. Hear me out here. Tesla's valued 10 times, 15 times the value of those other companies. Those executives need to return money back to their stockholders. That's all they're here on this earth to do. They're not even here for the biological, the reproduce crap. You get to that level of executive, you're literally here to please stockholders. Okay. So they're looking at that and they're saying, we got to be like that. And they're starting to see that the existing business model they've had for 100 years, the existing distribution channel they've had for over 100 years of leveraging their dealer networks has some cons that distinctly hold them back from ever being able to be valued like those other companies. And they need to change that. And it's not going to happen overnight. Dad, we've looked at the carve-out laws in multiple different states. We've talked about that before on the show and on the YAA channel. Multiple different states have carve-out laws that essentially say, change the name of your company and you can sell directly to consumer. We've seen that. I think we are a few years away from Ford and others saying we're now Ford electric car company and we can sell directly to consumers. And you know what's going to happen? Their stock price is going to go way up.
Thank you, investors. It's the only reason they want it is so it enhances their compensation. Sorry. What was that? What would that other guy say? Yeah, I'm old school. Yeah, I am.
We'll have to ask. We'll have to ask Judge Judy afterwards.
Yeah, Judge Judy. She's gonna slap you with a fine.
No, come on, not now. All right, let's switch gears and talk about our next topic here, Pops.
Judge Judy's just gonna say in a private conversation at the bench, "I can't believe how naive you are."
Stellantis.
Yeah.
What is going on here? I'm confused.
Yeah.
Stellantis net profits nearly tripled to $15.2 billion in 2021. North American margins surged to 16.3%.
Yeah.
I got a question for you.
Yeah, that's because they use French accounting laws. No, seriously. It's one of the reasons.
I got a question for you. Serious question.
Yeah.
Car dealers, higher profits than ever before. We understand that that's because of the supply-demand shortage. They took advantage of it.
And they're marking up the cars like crazy, which is driving Ford and GM and Hyundai and Genesis and Kia to reprimand their dealer bodies for, you're making too much money.
Okay. So my question was going to be, who is it just automotive suppliers that are getting hurt by the past, 18 months of supply chain disruptions? Because it seems now obvious that the automakers, sure, they haven't been able to produce as many cars as they want, but hell, they're making more money than ever before. Yeah. So is it truly just the suppliers who are kind of taking it in the shorts right now? I thought the automakers would be struggling a bit to make as much money, but Stellantis is bucking that trend, that's for sure.
Well, if you read the article, a lot of it has to do with the French accounting laws that they're utilizing, which are different than the accounting laws in this country. They're making money. They're all making money, okay? Because they're passing on a lot of these costs increases.
You remember that article from a couple weeks ago?
To the consumers. Yep. And in Stellantis's case, they're saying to their suppliers, you got to eat the cost increases. We're not going to eat them.
That was a fascinating article we talked about a couple weeks ago.
So yes, manufacturers have figured out how to make as more money than ever, producing fewer and fewer vehicles.
Yeah. It's pretty incredible. Yes. So it's really just the suppliers who have struggled here in terms of their profitability. Yes. And also, I forgot to bring this up. We're going back to it. Sorry, we had a 30-second reprieve. Yeah. What about this article?
What about that?
Infiniti issues a warning to dealers over customer
that's different.
Leases.
They're violating the consumer's contract by charging fees on a lease buyout that are illegal.
See?
That's different.
But it's more pressure on...
It states in the contract, in your lease agreement, the day you sign it, what you as the lessor can buy, or the less, whatever the hell you are, whoever's get up here, that how much you can pay for the car at the end of the lease. It's real simple. And dealers, Infiniti dealers and some Nissan dealers have gotten extremely creative because they're not getting these lease cars back and it's costing them money. So they're trying to figure out ways that they can take some of the profits from the consumers. So they're adding fees, unjust fees, to lease payoffs and things of that nature. That's why Nissan and Infiniti is upset, because it's very plain what the consumer's options are at the end of the lease. It's contractual, which is different.
But
than
there is
market-based pricing.
No, there is a contractual agreement in the dealer franchise laws that says remember that's what Ford referenced in their memo. It talked about, and GM referenced it in their memo.
And Hyundai, Genesis said it in the article that dealers are free to sell the damn cars for whatever price they want.
But they can't do things that harm the brand. Remember that?
That's all nonsense. Come on, Zach, this has been going on for 110 years. Okay? Ever since they invented advertising, they invented bait and switch. Okay? It's been going on forever.
Dad, this is a co-working space. You were being aggressively loud.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I think it said
I've
in
got places to go, people to see.
I was under the freaking table, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, they talked about. Remember, it was like subsection this, subsection that.
I'll give you a subsection everything. They have no power to stop it. All they're basically saying is, at least in Hyundai and Genesis's cases, stop your bait and switch advertising. There should be truth in advertising. Whatever the price that you're selling the car for is what you should advertise it for. It shouldn't be advertised at a lower price. And then when the customer shows up, you break it to them gently. Well, it's really $10,000 higher.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what they're really complaining about.
I don't agree with that. All right, last
and
story.
consumer affairs divisions within every state should be looking into these violations and actually doing something about it. Okay, because it's not a new thing. Okay,
It's a bait and switch, yeah.
I got into the car business in 1977. It was going on in 1977. I think it was going on before I got in the car business. It's still going on today.
Makes me really wish that we had dealership reviews. Like, we've been doing a bunch of research recently, and everyone keeps like getting excited at the idea of like good dealership reviews, and
Yeah.
no one has them because you can't trust anything online.
Well, no.
It'd be really nice if we had dealership reviews.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, how much do they mark up? Anyway.
Yes.
Last story of the day.
Yes.
Let's end on a positive note. Jobs.
Yeah. You know, and it's important that we add more jobs. And Carvana, bless their hearts, they're going over the next several years are going to be adding 3,500 jobs in the Atlanta area, which is, I think, their second largest or first largest market, and where they have secondary offices. And the only question I have is, out of that 3,500 new employees that they're going to hire, are they thinking of hiring any title clerks?
Yeah. It is interesting to see their business, although we talk about a lot of the, I don't want to call them misgivings, but challenges that the business faces. They're growing. They're really growing.
Yes, they
really growing,
Yes.
and they're hiring 3,500 people.
Yeah.
Atlanta's becoming a little bit of like a
hub.
A hub. It really is.
Yeah.
It's not just
Yeah.
like Coca-Cola anymore.
Or Delta.
Or Delta, yeah.
It's Coca-Cola, Delta, and Carvana.
Carvana. It's
Yeah.
pretty interesting to see their business is growing pretty quick. All right, let's
Yes.
go to the chat for a couple minutes here, and then let's call it a day, Pops.
Yes.
We've got Justice saying Tesla changed the 100-year-old ways forever.
Just for Tesla.
Nope, I disagree with
Okay.
you. We've got a suggestion that we should arm wrestle.
I don't think
That's
so. You're
not-
much
yeah,
stronger than
yeah,
me.
no, it's not good.
I'm louder. You're stronger.
So the question for Ray is, what would you have the manufacturers do / say to the dealers? That's a good question. Like, how would you? Let's say you represented an automaker. Like, what would you be saying to your dealer body? Right now?
I would say what Hyundai's saying,
Yeah.
which is we understand that we can't tell you what to sell the car for. We would appreciate it if you would advertise what the real price is. That we don't think it's in your best interests or the brand's best interests for us to be known as a bait and switch advertising brand. That's what I would be saying to the dealers, and I would come at them with how, in the long run, if you're in this for the long term, you're better off with transparency and being honest with consumers, as opposed to doing it the way a lot of these dealers.
So let me
are
ask
doing
you a
it today.
follow-up question, because I agree with you.
But there's
wholeheartedly.
nothing.
Let me ask you a follow-up question.
Yes.
If you're in the boardroom, you're president
Yeah.
of Hyundai,
Yeah.
would you not be having meetings with your cabinet, essentially saying, how the hell do we get away from this dealership model and go direct to consumer?
No, I don't think I think the conversations I would be having is how can we prove to the dealer body that it really is not in their best interest to operate this way?
Interesting.
That's how I think I would approach it. Okay. Now, maybe one of the ways that you fix it is you reward good behavior. So you say to your dealers that advertise the price, and that's the price that the customer can pay, and there's no shenanigans, that, well, there's a little something extra in it for you from Hyundai at the end of the quarter for having
it's a great
operated
it's a great business model where you have to compensate your channel partners for not lying to customers. I love that business model. No, sign me up. See how foolish that sounds? I get it, but it's foolish.
I'm not saying it's not, but
I know. I'm just saying.
I'm just, you have to look at it from a different perspective than they've always looked at it in the past.
Yeah.
Okay. And I don't know that the different perspective is to say we need to do away with the dealer model. We need to educate the dealers as to why their business practices are not in their best interest.
And with two comments here. One,
Yeah.
from our friend who wanted us to arm wrestle. This is easily the best channel for new and used car buyers. I literally found you guys weeks ago just searching car price on YouTube. I disagree. I think your Advocate Alliance is actually a better channel than Ray and Zach. But
Yeah.
the daily shows here are pretty fun. So thanks for tuning in. We really appreciate it. And
Yes.
Ryan says,
Yes.
been binge watching for about a week now.
Yeah.
Welcome, Ryan. Really love the platform. I think it would be great if you guys did customer requested car reviews. Yeah, put them in the chat.
Yeah.
My dad's been requesting a Defender. I got to
Yeah.
find one.
Yeah.
I'll contact a few Land Rover dealerships nearby and see if we can find one.
A few. Are there a few? Is there any such thing as there's
I think-
only a few.
I think there's one in Tyson's. There's one here in
I think that's a
Bethesda.
Penske store, so I don't know if we have any pull there, but we can try.
Probably not.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean we've got friends that
Ooh.
work for Penske in Arizona that maybe can make an introduction for us.
Court's adjourned.
Yeah.
Judge Judy.
Adjourned.
You said Oculus today.
Yeah.
earlier, so-
Okay. well,
Review an Outback. Yeah, we can
Okay,
review a
yeah.
2011 that my
Yeah,
sister has.
yeah.
Okay.
I think we've done that.
Judge Judy, I
Yeah.
got my mic in my ear. She
You-
just said Zach's right. All right, that's the end of the show. Thanks everyone
Okay.
for being here.
Thanks everybody. We'll see you tomorrow.